First race was good. I think it was a. I mean, initially I was cursing and swearing at Dylan for putting us in the Ferrari in the wet weather, um, because it was already a challenge last week. But I think it was a good learning curve. I think from here on the championship can only get interesting because it forced us all to put in the effort and to get sort of to grips with that V12 monster. And and honestly, I must, yeah, I mean, look, the second race was a nightmare because I just couldn't catch Sarge. He uh, he just kept on. I was keeping track on the times, and he kept on creeping away like hundredths of a second at a time. And then towards the end, I lost concentration, and I nearly had Donovan catching up with me. So yeah, happy with the finishes at fourth and third, and with all the Simstuff guys. Rudy did brilliantly. So did Robert. And I actually don't know where Insomnia finished in the second race, but I think he had a sixth or a seventh place finish in the first race. So yeah, everybody did well. So I'm super happy.
And Robert, take us through your race this evening at challenging conditions there. It must not have been easy.
Yeah, it wasn't that easy. Not bad. Race one just stayed out of trouble, and next thing I saw I was in first. So happy with that. Yeah, there was lots of chaos. People rolling, and yeah, people making big mistakes, and just trying to stay out of it, and then did my thing.
And that was the key to the race, staying out of trouble.
Yeah. And then the second race, when Donovan and I had that little coming together on turn one, got a lot of damage in the front end, and then just tried to keep up with Donovan. It was awesome. Brilliant race. Now, thank you to Simstuff Racing.
And Donovan, how was your race this evening in these challenging conditions?
Yeah, no, I didn't get a lekker qualifying in, so I started at 9th in the first race, which was actually a good thing because with all the chaos in the front, I just let the people take each other out and I just passed them. And I found myself in second. And unfortunately, Terry disconnected and then it was first. So then it was smooth sailing for me. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere came Robert. I don't know where he came from. And he passed me.
In these races in the wet, we saw that anything can change and everything will change in an instant. I mean, commentating on the race with less than a minute or so to go, you still know that anything can change.
No, for sure. And then the second race, obviously, we had a little touch, myself and Robert, and I fell back a bit. And then almost catching up to Johan, and then, a little bit overconfident on the last lap. I lost it through the first corner. So. But it was right. It was fun. It was a good race.
Thank you very much, everyone, as we move on now to the Alpha tier. Sarge, I almost forgot about you.
No worries.
And take us through your race. How was it this evening?
Yeah, it was good actually. Surprising turnout, to be quite honest. The first race kind of lost control. I think I maybe bumped into someone and then went all the way to last. So I didn't really expect much, just to basically finish the race, and then landed up in sixth. Start the second race in first place.
Excellent, and that brings me back to the point where anything and everything will change in these changing conditions as the track changes, as the race goes along.
Definitely. And, skipped gym today because I knew tonight was going to be work.
A gym session on track.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, everyone. Awesome racing, and I hope you can enjoy the rest of the racing this evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jess. It was good.
Cheers, Donovan.
Cool.
Cheers, guys.
Okie dokie. JJ?
Yes.
Vra net vir Dylan of hy nou wil ek moet commentate vir die tweede race.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. Poofy.
So Johan, I've just checked with our broadcaster, and if you would like to join me in the commentary box.
Yeah, how do I do that? Do I stay in here or what do I do? Yeah.
You can just,
Marius.
for now, you can just stay in here with me.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Marius? Hello? Marius, can you hear me?
Marius, can you hear me?
No, I don't think you can hear us.
Marius! Okay.
Okay, so
Sorry, what was that? Okay.
as we move on now to our Alpha tier races, I'm joined in the commentary box by Mr. JohannVdV. Johan, how are you doing this evening?
Good, I'm good. And yourself?
No complaints. I'm sure you must be a little bit tired after those first two races of yourself.
I was planning to go and shower. Rather. But,
Now you're stuck in the commentary box with me.
I'm happy to be here.
As our Alpha tier drivers just over 4 minutes ago go out on the track, my fellow commentator Ashley going out, and Johan, in this Alpha tier, who do you think are the guys to watch out for?
It's difficult to say. Who you can pick as a favourite. I mean, it's an open season if you ask me.
And very much still a case of guys getting used to cars and now needing to drive those cars in changing conditions as well.
Yes, you do. Look. It's already quite. If you're prepared, I think you'll do well. But like you've seen, the previous race, it could change any moment. So yes, I mean.
Just quickly, sorry to interrupt you there on screen. We've got Alan R. Bad Bull, that's Brett, one of our international drivers, joining us all the way from Australia. I think it's now the early hours of the morning there for him. What is it now in Australia? So 4 o'clock in the morning there, and he's actually standing in the Alpha tier for Dylan that's not feeling well tonight. Dylan, hope you get well soon and maybe can join us again next week. On screen now, Andrew Horn, the Horn Dog, also somebody to watch out for. And there we have Mr. Tyler Scott, also driving for Simstuff Racing, Johan.
Correct. Tyler and Adrian Bond is my team racing for us in the Alpha tier.
And just moving on to Adrian. Adrian is doing very well for himself with only his, I think this is his second season in SARCO, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Is he a beast?
He's a beast. People who just and therefore he just excels. So with the rally as well, he was his first championship blazing, and he won it eventually, winning 3 consecutive championships in the rally. So no, he's a machine. He'll get there. Bit loose.
Christopher, we see getting a bit loose there.
Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher is on screen now. Will you think tonight will again be a race between Christopher and maybe Jakes?
Yeah, it's always a race between Christopher and Jakes. I mean, when is it not? They are, as I've often referred to them, as alien fast. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Look, the turn 1 cluster coconuts is
getting very loose there.
Yeah, so I know from my experience now, the Ferrari pulls the Chev if you get a good exit out of the last hairpin coming onto the oval. So yeah, I mean, it just depends on your exit. I think if your lines are good, you should be all right. It's going to be interesting. I personally believe the Chev's the better car, and this is an awkward matchup. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what next week brings.
That was commentator's curse. Jake spinning out there, but currently he's on it. As I said, that he was on a 24 dead. We see our first 123.9 for the evening.
My word, that is, I can tell you, that is insanely fast. I mean, you were on track with that. Really?
So, you know, I think as the evening goes along, things are just, you know, maybe going to start getting quicker and quicker. Maybe that 23.8 that we see Marius currently on is not going to be the quickest of the night.
Holy moly, that is really fast.
At this stage, at this pace, I wouldn't be surprised maybe if somebody gets into the 22s during this qualifying.
If this drops into 22s, my teeth are going to fall out. Yeah, I'm telling you that would be amazing.
I mean, just a minute ago we were talking about Jake's being on a 24 dead, and now we're already to the 23.8s. I see time has run out on the qualifying. I'm just quickly running through the field to see who is still on a hot lap. As I say that 23.6 by Marius. And actually Christopher in 6th place only. So we're just waiting for everybody to cross the line. Looks like everybody's crossed the line, and that is the final standings with Marius in pole position. Brando Skill. Yes.
That anything can happen in these conditions. It doesn't look sort of intense, but when you look at sort of the bumper view, when you're within 3 or 4 car lengths of another car, you can't see a thing. It is, but the conditions are taxing.
Me and Ash.
Oh, weird.
I see things are very close between the Ferrari and the Camaro here, and me and Ashley spoke about it in the first race. The problem of following closely behind another car and the spray that gets kicked up. And at the start of the race, as we're waiting for them to sync, you know, in turn 1, and you'll, as they get off the line, And we'll see now as they go around the oval, I say turn 1, but it's actually turn 3 around as we see a little bit of contact there down the field. It's too late to quickly go back to see who the contact was, but as they approach turn 1, it looks fairly clean at this stage. Jake's moving up into second place. And Christopher up from 6th until 3rd, and he's taken Jake's on the inside.
That's fairly clean so far.
Seems like it's very close racing there in the front at the moment.
Indeed.
As they come around that.
The first 2-3 laps will be tight and they'll be pushing hard, so there's always chance for
Which button is that?
Oh, that's horrible. Going into turn 3 wide or 2 is an absolute nightmare. The car, just a little bit too much input on the steering and the car goes sideways and you go straight to the inner wall when you get up there. Oh, look at that. Brilliant racing by the top 3 there.
So I'm just quickly trying to get the split times up so we can have a look at the gaps. But at this stage, as we see Christopher going very hot into that corner there in the background, we've got Jake's running in the front.
As usual, he's taking the lead, and he's calm and collected, that man. Look at how tidy he comes through there. Just a little bit too much throttle input and the car sideways. Before you know it, you've collected the inside wall. Or it... I personally am not a lover of the ovals, but this was so much fun, and it really is interesting condition. Look at that. Going in. Oh wow, that's so close.
Johan, from your first race experience around that is actually very close racing, but as you round that final turn, me and Ashley spoke about the patience you kind of need before you can get all that power down going around the oval part of the track.
Well, it's coming off, let's say, I think it's turn 2, going into, as you go up into the embankment off, just past the start finish.
Well, actually the whole oval part of the track.
Particularly the first one that you go into after the start finish line is particularly taxing, because as you go in, the embankment sort of, the camber of the road, it goes up, and then you tend to want to put too much input into the steering, which means that you when you correct it, you pull the car put the car sideways, and if it grips, gets the mechanical grip there, you straight into the wall at the bottom on the inside. So I would shift into 4th gear and take my foot off the throttle and then slowly put through and hold 4th all the way to turn 3 going into the inner track.
And I think, sorry for that, I think that's only on your screen. I've got it on my screen.
I don't have it on I don't have the positions on my screen. Yeah, that's important. So people just take the positions that are normally up on the left.
Currently, I've got it on the director's screen, but it's not on the broadcaster screen.
No. No, it's not on mine.
Yeah, I've got it here. Sorry about that. I've got it on the director screen. Just quickly scroll through them.
Jake's.
There we go.
There we go. Now we can see.
Sorry about that, Johan. Now you can actually see who is in what position.
Really, because I'm watching this on my telephone due to the fact that it's direct.
Well, I must admit, I'm still kind of learning the whole broadcasting thing. It's
Yeah, I would love to sort of just be able to sort of see the gaps between the guys, because time-wise, because then you can have a good idea of what's happening where on track.
yeah. At this stage, Jakes and Christopher yet again are running very closely in the first two positions, and
Look at the flames coming out of that exhaust. Jakes is absolutely in control. Doesn't seem to have any issues up until now, other than the yellow little bug on his backside, a folder.
is quickly jumping to sixth and seventh position as Gavin and Andrew are running very close. Personally, I've done quite a fair bit of racing with Andrew Horn, and I'm still yet to beat him.
He seems like he's lapping you when he comes to pass you, doesn't he? It's always that he just picks a line and he flies right through it. He's an absolute machine.
And makes very few mistakes.
Yeah, he's consistent, and the same with Jakes. I mean, I've seen Jakes make maybe one or two mistakes in the time that I've raced with him, and I've been with SARCO for a good 3, maybe even 4 years. It's seldom that you see him making a mistake in an actual official race.
Yeah, as Andrew taking Gavin there on the inside. Almost thought for a second Gavin is trailing his bumper there. But this spray can't be easy, and somebody running wide there in the background, and Dirkie running wide there in the background, and Gavin takes him around the outside again. I'm just going to quickly move forward to the front. Christopher is now just half a second around Jakes as we see another great battle. This one for the lead though. Johan, what do you think? As I say that, I just quickly want to jump to third and fourth. They also running very closely. This is Marius and my commentator teammate Ashley. Johan, as we see yet these two Camaros going at it. So this is not a case of different machinery. This is on par, these two cars, and we see as they run the oval part that spray is yet again playing a very big part in the visibility. Johan, are you still with us? Seems like we've lost Johan there a bit. This is the battle for Marius, just getting past Brandon there. The battle extremely close for third, fourth and fifth at this stage. With Marius running third at the moment and just 4 seconds behind Christopher, that is right behind Jakes yet again, as we saw last week. As we see at this stage, we thought they were going to go quicker than in qualifying, and they are actually. Jake's running at 123.4 and Christopher actually a little bit quicker at this stage at a 123.372. So just about a tenth of a second quicker than Jake's at this stage. And those are truly excellent times in this type of weather, and I wouldn't be surprised if you're going to see a 122 before the end of the race sometimes. But actually the first 5 cars running within 7 seconds of each other, with battles going on all over the place at this stage.
Sorry about that. I seem to have disconnected.
No problem. We seem to have a couple of issues with disconnects this evening. I lost Ashley as well, and during the Bravo tier races.
I'm not.
Johan, at this stage, as I mentioned while you were off air, we've got battles going on all over the place, and the top 6 running within 9 seconds of each other, and the top 5, or 3, 4 and 5 running very close to each other.
Yeah, it's anybody's race. I tell you, the littlest bit of overexcitement and too much throttle input, and it'll cost you a position or two, especially with those sort of timings and then being so close on top of each other.
I mean, while you were off air, I just made note of if Jake's and Christopher's times. They are both running in the mid 23s at this stage.
Crazy. That is very fast.
That's I think about 3 seconds quicker than what I managed to do.
A visual sort of how you look at that. You see that slight jig on as you go into that turn is crazy hard to control.
We noticed you during the first race taking a totally different line in that last oval section than what the Camaros used to take. What was the reason behind that?
I just pick the line as it feels comfortable, and also going into that first sort of embankment, or I take a sort of inside line and then I go up into the embankment and I turn as I sort of go higher up, because I feel that if you take a line or a lane, if I can call it that, and you stick to it, the input that you need is just a little bit too much initially, and it puts the car sideways. So I try and sort of get onto the camber of the road first, where it starts turning, and then sort of turn the car. It just feels like you got better work that way. So yeah, I mean, with this, I don't know if anybody picks it or if there's a specific line you should hold. I just, wherever I felt comfortable was where I was going to put the car. It's really, there's some sections higher up on the first embankment that literally feels like there's water there, because I've hit it in practice twice where the car literally, when I hit it, it just starts going, and it just turns its nose towards the inner wall, and then, like I say, if it starts getting mechanical grip there, it's over. You're going straight to the wall.
Yeah, I also found out when I took these cars around the track that a wall is never really far away. It's very easy to park yourself up a wall during these conditions. So with just over 6.5 minutes to go, we still got Jakes in the lead, Christopher running in second, now just over a second behind him, and Marius has fallen back a bit, 4 seconds, 3.5 seconds behind at this stage, and a further 2 or so seconds. We've got Ashley running in 4th position. Ashley was doing the commentating with me during the Bravo races, and we had a couple of discussions on the difference between the two cars. Now, you also running the Camaro, so which Ashley is running.
I'm in the Ferrari.
Oh, sorry, my mistake. How did I get that one wrong?
I don't know. How did you? Rudy tomorrow, as well as Stoltz.
That's where I got it wrong. Yes.
Robert. But look, I've done enough time in it. I'm thinking I should just stay away from it. But I have done some laps in the Camaro. I feel it's an easier car to drive. A lot of the guys say stay out of first gear. I find to use first gear to get the car to rotate helps a lot. But yeah, you know, it's like we've all realized that in you got to adapt to what you're driving. You can't do a setup. If you are doing setups that'll suit anybody else, the next guy drives differently to you, which means that it's a total different feel.
But do you think it's do you think it's a case of people are going to get quicker over the course of the season? Currently watching Horn Dog on track. Dirkie is just over a second behind him at this stage. Looks like he's closing up to the back of Andrew Horn, and we might see another close battle on our hands as Andrew loses it out of the last turn. That's commentator's curse there, right there for you. So with that mistake of Andrew, but Dirkie also did not look like he went through that last corner as clean as he would like, but that mistake of Andrew might allow Dirkie to move up a bit on him. Further down the field, we have a look at Steven, and right behind him Lendl, and this is a battle of the two Ferraris, but that Ferrari of Lendl looking a little bit worse for wear there, Johan.
Yes, that's also to be expected.
But as a driver, you would know what difference does damage do to a vehicle's performance.
Well, I've been in situations where I've literally bumped the car on the right front.
Lendl up the inside on Steven there on turn 1. So it doesn't look like at this stage that damage is affecting him that much.
Yeah, it's not always easy.
I've had instances where I've had damage on a vehicle and my steering wheel sits at 45 degrees. But this is a very close race to get into the top 10 of the Alpha tier between Lendl and Steven. There's contact between the two, and that causes Steven to go wide and loses the vehicle. I'm sure he's... Don't know if he touched the wall there, but that was very close, and that has allowed Lendl to get into 10th place, although there was a little bit of contact between the two there. But Lendl has now pulled out almost just over a 2-second gap over Steven with that move he pulled on the inside. Quickly moving now to 4th. So we're just looking at Gavin, and he's just over a second behind Brando Skills. This is also shaping up to be another battle that is in the making. This is the type of battles I would like to see between the two different makes, what the Camaro can do against the Ferrari one. Seems like we've lost Johan there again. Oh, you're still there? I'm not... Sorry, I'm just moving back to the front of the race as we've got the top 3 now almost in the single shot with Jakes, Christopher and Marius going at it. So instead of this being a 2-way battle, it's now become a 3-way battle between 2 Camaros and a Ferrari, as we see Marius coming very close to Christopher there. Christopher at this stage is in a Camaro sandwich, Johan. I think that is one of the most comfortable places to be between those two vehicles, and as you not only need to focus what is going on in front of you, but you also need to kind of defend the vehicle behind you, and that can make you lose overall time and lose touch with the person in front of you because you need to defend.
So many variables.
And as I looked there, it looks like Marius got a little bit of a cleaner run out of that last corner, but now he has that spray to contend with as he moves closer to Christopher. And this, as you can see, has allowed Jakes to pull just over a second gap between the two behind him. So this is actually at the moment working in Jakes' favor. I can see there Christopher takes a lot similar line than what you did around the oval on those last embankments just before turn 1, or actually turn 3 as it is on the racetrack.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
And the Camaro can take a slightly tighter line around that embankment.
Yeah.
As things stands at this stage, we've got Jake's in first place. He is just over a second in front of Christopher, and then we've got Marius about 0.4 of a second behind Christopher in third place. So this is shaping up to be an epic battle right up into the line, as I think they are on their last lap at the moment. So time has run out. Looks like Jake has done enough to take the to take first place. Just over a second behind him, Christopher, and looks like Marius will have to settle for third place.
The top dogs take the top places.
And as they crossed the line, there was time penalties. So Jake did not get the win. Christopher got first place with Marius in second, and Jake had to settle for third with the time place penalties that he picked up.
A time penalty. I did not notice that on my miniature screen.
To be honest, I was watching the screen so closely that I also didn't notice it. But Johan, that type of thing plays with your mind a bit if you pick up a penalty and all of a sudden you drop a couple of places.
I try and avoid them full stop. You know, I've often said to the guys that race with me, when it informs you of the penalty, I immediately get on the brakes, like literally just punch the brakes straight away, and it dissipates, it goes away. So
you try and put yourself in a position where you don't get the penalty full stop.
I don't get the penalty. I try and avoid that, yeah, rather than because there's no time always to keep an eye on that sort of thing. I don't think Jakes would have been able to get away from Christopher had he sort of tried to work the penalty away by slowing down or getting on the brakes. But I literally tapped the brakes and I put my foot.
So Jan, you are breaking up a little bit, so I didn't catch that last part that you were saying.
Okay.
So there yes, now I can hear you. There we've got the standings with Christopher in first place, Marius in second, Jakes in third, Gavin in fourth, Brando in fifth, and Dirkie in sixth. So what will happen now for the second race? The top 6 will do a reverse grid. So actually at this stage, Dirkie will start in pole position and Christopher will move to 6th.
That is correct.
Now, me and Ashley spoke during the first race. That first manual formation lap, does it play with your mind a bit like it used to do with mine? There where you need to find your position first before you can settle down for the race.
Did you not see what happened to me in the first race?
I did see what happened to you in the first race, yes. That's why I'm asking you.
It had been that I'd sort of moved past Shark, and yeah, I hadn't. So yeah. Then we had an issue with what was it? With Sly Pete, who thought that he needed to be in third, and me in fourth, which wasn't the case.
What I said to Ashley, I find it a bit more difficult because if you do a standing start, you can immediately focus on the race. But if you need to do a manual formation lap, you can't immediately focus on the race. You need to first find your position.
I feel if everybody just sticks to the left and you pass on the right, then it's easier. But the cars were sort of scattered and it was difficult to sort of.
And that's not always the most easiest thing to do.
It's not, because if everybody should just pick a line on the left and stick to it, and it'll sort itself out, you know, sort of move a car at a time. Look, I you know me, I prefer doing the standing start because I've got that down, yeah, Yeah, but it makes it interesting.
It does. It almost brings another variable into the race that you need to contend with as we see them lining up for the second race. These are not the actual starting positions. They will go around, do a manual formation lap, as Dirkie needs to get into pole position, followed by Brando Skills, then Gav, and then Jake's in 4th position, Marius in 5th, and Christopher in 6th. So we're just waiting for them to sync up before they are on their way. And Johan, have you ever forgotten that it's a manual formation lap and you just went for it off the start?
I have not forgotten. My sort of like to call it the draw.
You think you got a flyer of a start and then all of a sudden realize you're on a manual formation lap?
I just jumped the start because I always try to sort of still be sitting looking at the lights, and I try to get off the mark as quick as what I would have, and then just get off the throttle. But I have jumped the start and gotten a drive-through penalty, which I kicked myself for because there's no need for that.
Gotten a penalty before the actual start of the race.
Correct.
Just waiting for them to sync and then they'll be on their manual formation lap. Do you find it difficult during these conditions to keep the tires up to temperatures during this lap?
Yeah, I used the PCARS Dash app, and so that I have no telemetry on the screen, and I found that there was definitely sort of the tires were in comparison to what they show in game. I was running like 66, 63 front, left and right. Rears were also just in the low 60s. So it was easier to keep the rears because going into turn 3, I mean, I'm flat out on it. When the car sort of rotates, I put my foot down, which means that we've got wheel spin, but the fronts were cooling down, especially with the water on track.
And which would make that first turn off the oval, turn 3, even more interesting.
Yeah, but that is actually just a pure case of you come in so hard there that you get on the brakes too much, it locks up in the front. So all you hear there is like the tires screech. That's
and
all
then
you hear.
everything's gone, braking, steering, everything. You just become a passenger at that point.
Exactly. So
okay, so as Dirkie starts backing up the field, this is at a stage, you can either back them up too quickly or too late, which makes the field span out a bit. But I'm sure he's done this a couple of times as he goes around very slowly now, and as soon as he hits the start-finish line, the race will be on. So we see Marius there currently in 5th position, with Christopher, the winner of the first race, just behind him. Dirkie's going very slowly, and as you see the start-finish line approach, as soon as he hits that line, the race will be on. And off we go on the second race for the Alpha tier this evening. Just quickly going to the front of the field to see what happens at turn 3 as they come off the oval part. This stage, somebody's lost it there, and there's a big crash further down the field. Did not catch who was involved there. Looks like Adrian Bond was involved maybe in that one. And Ashley, we've lost Ashley. Ashley is disconnected, so Ashley might have picked up a huge amount of damage in that accident.
oh my.
That is something that can happen very easily in these type of conditions, Johan, and it can happen in an instant.
Very
And
quickly.
especially with the cars running as closely as they are at the moment, very little needs to go wrong to have a huge accident like that. Just quickly want to drop down a bit through the field. See Christopher has moved up into 4th and Marius currently running 5th. Looks like there's no further drama as they come through to start lap 2. Horndog running in 6th position. And
Look,
then,
it doesn't have to put yourself sideways or put yourself in a predicament in these conditions. Everybody needs to just focus and keep their sort of eye on the line, and the rest will take care of itself. But there's no time to be looking around or focusing on the guy next to you. You got to just hope that everybody's got their line and that they're sticking to it.
that's correct. And I just want to make mention of this. Jakes has dropped down to 11th place, so something must have happened to Jakes on lap 1 for him to drop down that far. At this stage, Jakes is battling it out with Andrew, with Brett. Sorry, for a moment I thought it was Adrian Bond, but at this stage, Brett and Jakes is currently battling it out for 10th and 11th position. So Jakes find himself out of position, Johan.
Yeah, that's uncanny. But like we said, it can easily happen in...
As we see Brett run a bit wide and Jakes, that allowed... So just quickly jumping to 12th as Christopher has a huge accident there. So the front runners of the first race find themselves in the bottom half of the field. And I'm sure Christopher's got a huge amount of damage there, Johan.
Must have. Virtually impossible to avoid.
Good evening, Ashley.
It was a very short race.
What happened there? We only saw quickly in the background you veered off to the right, and that was it.
Yeah, well, I tried impossible. I tried to take I think it was Stephen wanted to start on the inside, and I just lost the rear of the car, and that was end of the race. And unfortunately, taking a couple of guys with me, so I do apologise profusely to I think it was Stephen that I took out, and I think one or two other guys.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for everything. I'll catch up.
Thank you for stepping in and assisting us. Much appreciated. And
No problem.
thank you for sponsoring the series. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's Johan from Simstuff Racing, the founder of Simstuff Racing, who's been kind enough to give us those prizes of the button box and the flagship for the guys with the G20 line, and for anyone who participates in the SARCO racing. So up front at the moment we get Gavin, who's managing to pass Jerky. Saw Jerky making that a little bit of mistake in the infield there, going onto the grass, and that's pretty back, but still applying the pressure to Gavin right behind him, and he's not giving up the fight just yet. And in the background I can see Morris slowly gaining on these two guys here. And I think we're in for a good three-way battle here, Hanneman.
Yes, as we saw in the first race, Ashley, you know, the top 3 were running very close, and it seems to be the case here as well. But will time penalties play a role again? I see at this stage it looks like Dirkie and Marius are carrying time penalties.
From my view, maybe it's
sorry.
Maybe it's a bit behind. Yeah, but this track is extremely difficult, especially when you're following, as we mentioned, the Bravo-tier race. So I could not see my racing line whatsoever, and I made a couple of mistakes going off the track. Just as a result of not being able to see because the driver in front of me was picking up so much water. So I think that's exactly why we've seen so many penalties tonight. It's just the guys who are following who are battling.
especially when you get close as these guys are running that spray. I can only imagine you can't really see much there.
No, absolutely. So still a good battle up in front here. We've got Gavin and chased by Durkee. Durkee not giving up that battle just yet. We know from the previous race he was pretty quick. Unfortunately, I think he made a bit of a mistake, and that's what's got him behind. But managed to get himself up to 6th position, and that put him pole for this second race of this evening for the Alpha Tiers. So unfortunately, we did say he made a slight mistake in the early part of the race, and that's put him back a bit, but still applying a pressure there to Gavin. It looks like Marius may have slipped up somewhere, because it seems like he's dropped off these two guys up in front. In 4th position at the moment we've got Lindell, and as I say, that he hits a time penalty. Right behind him it looks like the War Dog, that's Andrew, up into 5th position, so he's doing pretty well tonight. He started out in, I think he started out in 7th position, and now he's worked his way up to 5th, getting past Jakes. I suspect that Jakes and Christopher may have come together, and that's why they've dropped further down the field.
Yeah, earlier on, Jakes fell to 11th position, so he's worked his way up to 6th position again. So he's on a drive back through the field at the moment.
Yes, I believe so. But look at his times, he's still doing very well. He's in the low 23s there, which is extremely quick around the circuit. Just been told by our broadcaster that my output is a little bit soft, so if you guys could just let me know if you're battling to hear me. I'm just gonna maybe switch to a different output here, so just bear with me.
Moving back to the front, still fairly close. All it looks like Durkee has fallen back a little bit. The gap is just over a second now, and Marius starting to reel in Durkee. So yet again we're gonna see a three-way battle for the lead fairly quickly, and looks like although Jakes is still some way behind, he is starting to close on Andrew a bit. With just under 9 minutes to go, this is turning out to be a very interesting end to the second race as well. Same as what we saw in the first race.
So yeah, we're in 8th position. But I can see that Tyler is chasing Gerard. But I think
Gerard has lost it.
There he is. Commentators just jumped to him, and unfortunately he's gone off there. So just getting the power down a little too early, and unfortunately losing the rear. So I just want to confirm, can you guys hear me okay? Is it a little bit better? Getting my heads up from the broadcaster saying it's still soft. So guys, I'll try as talk as loud as I can so that you can hear me without waking my neighbors and having my pregnant girlfriend come and beat me. So still is Marius chasing down Durkee, so good battle starting to form here as Marius now getting a slipstream right behind Durkee. And from when I was following Marius, he's extremely quick on this section. He just seems to find a good line, and now that he's picked up a good slipstream, he goes that inner line and it forces Durkee wide there, so Durkee wasn't able to keep the grip there. And Marius finding the grip somehow and managed to get past there. He's now moved up to 2nd position.
Actually, through the course of the evening, we've seen a couple of different lines being followed through turns 1 and 2, leading up to turn 3, where you get off the oval part of the track. So it seems to like different lines are working for different people.
No, absolutely. I also found that, especially I was following Marius for a while, and he was definitely had a little bit of different line, especially through the banking corners and that. So, which seemed to give him an advantage So yeah, absolutely, you managed to find a bit more pace in that Camaro compared to the other guys out there this evening. So we go down to 5th position, and Jake's now closing on, well, he has actually overtaken the Horn Dog. So that puts him up to 5th position. Next person on the track for him to catch would be Lendl. We know how quick Lendl is in that Ferrari, but still quite a gap to go. So that's going to be a mighty ask of Jakes to catch Lendl with, I think it looks like only 5 minutes left on the clock, if I'm not mistaken.
Just under 6 minutes to go.
There you go. But
So
Jake's
be
already
interesting to see.
Absolutely. Jake's already opening up a gap from the Andrew. But we've seen Jake's has been very quick this evening, managing to, I think he won the first race, if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't really paying attention. I was a bit miffed with my position and getting a 3-second penalty. So good win there for Jake's, followed closely by Christopher.
Yeah, Jakes did win the first race, but unfortunately with the time penalty, he finished 3rd.
Oh, right.
So that gave it to Christopher. But I think we see Jakes here on a mission, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does another 1:23 before the end of the race.
He'll be chasing those points. There's still a long championship ahead. We know this is only the 2nd race of the championship, so still anything could happen. So it's always best to make hay while the sun shines, in this case while it rains. Just get those points and make sure that
But that's Marius and Durkee into the back of him, both of them running wide at turn 3 there.
I just hope for Boris' sake he hasn't picked up too much damage. Doesn't look too bad from the camera angle. That's Lendl now in the back of Durkee, who's went into the back of Marius there. So that slowed them down a little bit. But Lendl does have that time penalty. I'm not sure what that time penalty is. Perhaps, gentlemen, you could just show us. Just you have the ability. There you go. It's a 2-second penalty. And there in 7th place, Tyler with a 1-second penalty. Brandon in 8th place with a 2-second penalty. And Vaughan Hills with a 1-second penalty there as well.
So, at least at this stage, the top 3 is not affected by any time penalties again.
Not at this stage, yes. But it's still going to be a big ask for Lendl to get past Durkee and manage to pull a 2-second gap with such a little time left in the clock.
This camera angle would give you some sort of indication of the spray that they are dealing with as they are running around the track.
Absolutely. You can see Lendl taking a much tighter line there as Durkee goes a little bit wide, maybe breaking a little bit too late. Boris seems to rotate a bit nicer there compared to the Ferrari. But Lendl still applying that pressure to Durkee.
It looks like Durkee is running a bit wide there through that corner, and that might allow Lendl to move even closer as they start moving back onto the oval part of the track. It all depends on how you get through, and both of them looks like the back end step out there, but
that was very close. Durkee almost losing the back of that Camaro, and that's given Lendl a little bit of a hope. You can see now that he's applying that pressure to Durkee, and then Durkee's making those small mistakes. And in the background there is that Jake's now closing the gap on these two, so that's going to make things really interesting if he manages, but unfortunately there's still not enough time left on the clock, only a minute and a half. But if these guys battle really hard and they just saying, if they come together, it could open the door for Jackson.
Seems like Dirkie outbraked himself a bit there. And now Lendl right on his backside. So this is going to be, I think there's going to be this lap, and side by side they're going through the S's now. Lendl backs out of it. I think we're going to have maybe one more lap after this one.
I think I agree with you there. An epic battle up in front here.
Oh, Lendl goes on the grass.
Lendl gets onto the grass there, making a little bit of a mistake. And that's going to allow for Dirkie just to get a little bit of breather. But let's see through this final corner before you get onto the... Lendl seems to have a better drive there. And maybe you can get a bit of a slipstream behind Dirkie. Look at the background, that's Jakes closing the gap at a massive rate.
He's not a lot more than a second behind Lendl. So this
he could possibly take fourth position away from Lendl if he just managed to get him within a second.
From being 11th place at one stage.
And Dirkie goes a bit wide there, which has allowed Lendl to go through. And they're both late on the brakes there.
Jakes might take him on the inside as well.
That looks like Jakes almost getting past Dirkie there as well. Dirkie takes the defensive line, and that's going to slow down Jakes and allow for Lendl just to open up that gap. Whoa, and Jakes gets it
on the grass.
Wide, unfortunately, and then uses a lot of his time there. Possibly will get a slowdown. He just needs to bring it home now.
So with just one more corner to go until they're back on the oval part.
So Jake's now feeling the bit of water on the track now starting to accumulate from all this rain, and I think it's making it really slippery out there at the moment for the guys. So out in front is Marius, who's opened up a nice gap between himself and these guys fighting for second and third. So that's the end of the race, and Marius takes that race, followed by Dirkie, who managed to close the gap, and Jakes comes up into third position. So well done to Jakes there for closing that gap. Horn Dog.
And actually, I just saw that or heard that we lost Gavin there.
Oh, that's most unfortunate because he was doing so well.
Just before the end of the race. It's a very difficult thing. We're just so close to the end of the race where you suffer a disconnect. And I mean, a disconnect in our type of racing is similar to a mechanical failure. So close to the end of the race, and then everything's just gone.
Yep. Yeah. And that's sorry, Gav. That's really bad for you. I feel really bad for you. Sorry you got disconnected there, but nevertheless, we still have a good race, a good season ahead. So there's time to make up those points. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the final race of the Alpha Tier this evening. Marius taking the win, followed by Dirkie, and then Jakes, who had that unfortunate moment, dropping right down to 11th, getting and clawing his way up into third. Lendl in fourth, Andrew the Horn Dog in fifth, Brandon in sixth, Tyler Scott in seventh, Gerard in eighth, and unfortunately cannot see, oh sorry, there's Adrian Bond in 9th and Vaughan Hills in 10th position.
With that time penalty that Lendl had, Jakes actually got onto the podium there.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing drive coming back from 11th position.
Absolutely. So while we wait for those guys to come into the lobby, I guess, Johanna, if you could just tell Marius Durkee.
We're just waiting for them to join us in the Discord. After this, these two races, I'm just a commentator this evening, and I'm tired, so I don't want to know how they are feeling.
Yeah, that was a epic race. Quite difficult, I must admit myself.
I mean, I've always found that these type of sprint races are actually more demanding than your longer type of races, because there's no strategy, there's no pit stops to think of. There's, in the longer type of races, I try to get into the rhythm as quickly as possible, and these type of races are just racing from start to finish.
Yeah, there's no sort of rhythm that you can really get in. It's flat out all the way. And you, especially with what makes it interesting is that reverse grid, where the guys have to swap positions, and if you much quicker enough, you start out a little bit further down the field, it can make life a little bit interesting, especially with the rain this evening. That car is slipping and sliding everywhere, so good job to the drivers this evening. They did a fantastic job.
Rain driving is definitely a different beast to a dry track. There's a lot more going on with the car than on a dry track, most definitely.
Absolutely. So we wait for the drivers to come into the lobby.
That's bad luck there, Kev.
Yeah. So Gavin, if you can hear me, we'll start with you.
I can hear you.
That's such bad luck. I'm so sorry. We definitely need to sort out that internet connection of yours. I must apologize. I was meant to get back to you. So,
no, it's fine. It's been working, so I didn't think it would be an issue anymore.
Okay, so
last
like you were doing so well. Can you talk us through how you found the race this evening?
Yeah, look, I knew I had the pace. First race, I had a toe there coming through into that second corner, and I went on the inside. I just couldn't stop, and I hit the barrier, and I had damage. And then my car was just not up to speed. I wasn't getting the speed on the straights, and so unfortunately there I couldn't stay with the guys. And there, yeah, second race, crack of a race. I was behind Durkee for a while. Actually, Brandon, and then unfortunately Brandon got taken out, and then I was behind Durkee for a while. Then he went wide, and when I got past him, I just had my head down and just tried to put in some good consistent laps. Quite surprised, and look, I thought I was going to take it home, and when I had a 2-second lead, I was taking it a bit easy and make sure that I get through and with no more mistakes. And unfortunately I disconnected. So that's the nature of the game.
Well, that's bad luck, and thanks for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you for the next of the races, and are able to claw up and get some more points in the championship.
Definitely.
Jakes, over to you. Fantastic first race. You were leading for most of the race, and then unfortunately, I think you made a couple of mistakes, and the penalties got you at the end. Can you talk us through your race? Oh, and then in the second race, what happened there? Unfortunately, you were leading the race. That looked like it, and then something happened. I would imagine between you and Christopher. Can you just talk us through those two races, please?
Yes, Ash, man. The first race, I led from the start. I raced very good, and it was only one mistake that I made. That cost me 2 seconds, and I just had to keep the gap, but I couldn't keep the gap. Christopher and Marius was too fast, and they took that position away from me. So I ended up third. I had to start in fourth position. First lap was good. I ended up from fourth to third, and that last hairpin, I can't remember who was in front of me. I braked too early, and I spun around, and I had to wait for traffic to come around. And when I joined in that long straight, I was 11th, and I had to go crawl up my way there, and from 11th to 3rd. Unfortunately for Gavin, unfortunately for me, I should have ended 4th actually, but with Gavin disconnected there, I ended up 3rd. So Gav, thanks a lot, buddy. Yeah, and yeah, my second race I felt good. I had to pass a couple of guys, and nice clean racing between me and all the guys that I had to pass. I must say, Dylan gave me a run for my money, my own teammate. Thanks, Dilly. But yeah, I made it past, and I just had to keep it on the road. I didn't make any mistakes. I don't know why I couldn't do that in the first race. I guess it was pressure. But yeah, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a good race. Good luck. Congratulations to the guys that Marius and Dirkie, and especially Kevin, man. It was your race there, that one.
Chilled.
Well done to you, Jakes. That was great to watch. Even driving behind you and from the commentating box.
Thanks, man.
We have seemed to have lost Dirkie. Maybe we can go over to Marius. A good, fantastic win there for you in the second race, and also a good battle in the first race between you and Brandon. And if you could just talk us through the first race and your second race, please.
Yeah, both races was fun. It's a pity about Gavin disconnecting on the last corner. I mean, how unlucky can you get? I wasn't going to catch him, so that was a given present, the first place in the second race. But the first race, I bogged at the start, I think, and everybody passed me. So, but I had a great battle with Brandon. I just could not pass him. He just got out of that corners every time better than me. I could not pass him for a long time. I think he made a little mistake in the end, and then it's the only way I could pass. In the second race, I again had to battle him for quite a while before I could start chasing. I saw Jakes and Christopher. Jakes spun out in front of me. I also narrowly missed him. I think Christopher couldn't miss him. It was right in front of him. But great fun. Congratulations, Gavin. That second race, you were untouchable. I could not shrink the gap at all. Great driving.
Thank you.
Just imagine the Gav went over that line. He would have said, was he in a Ferrari? No, he wasn't. He was in the Chef. Oh, okay. No,
I did it for the beer that we were going to buy tomorrow.
Well done, Marius. Well done on your win, and a good race result for you this evening. Dirkie, can you talk us through your race? You started in pole position for the second race, as you managed to get yourself up to sixth position in the first race. Can you talk us through your first and second race, please?
Yeah, well, the results are not too bad, but I'm not too happy with myself because I couldn't find my pace that I had in the practice for some strange reason. I don't know why. And I was about nearly a second slower than what I could go. And I just couldn't get it together in the first race. So the first race was really difficult for me, and the spray was difficult. I kept on missing those apexes on that S's behind, can't even remember who it was, but I was struggling. The Hondog, yes. So I could get right behind him, and then the spray, and I missed it, and I got a penalty, and I had to slow down all the time. So it was a very difficult first race for me. Second race, once again, small little mistakes. So I lost it against Gavin there, and also ran wide for Marius, and he came past. And after that, me and Marius locked up in turn number 2, and we connected each other a bit. Then I had damage, and it was again a very difficult race to the end for me. But unfortunately for Gavin and some penalties to other guys, I could manage to get second. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I could have done better, I think.
Well done to you, and well done for all the drivers that participated tonight. It wasn't an easy race. Talking from experience, I didn't do too well. So well done to you guys. And please, guys, if you are watching out there, if you want to get involved with the SARCO, please come and check us out on Facebook. Check us out on our website. yeah, come and join us. Hit us a line or two, and tell us about yourself. You can get involved by joining the Discord, and come and race with us and see what it's all about. So I think that's it for this evening. Thank you guys for all your efforts in that.
Cheers,
And
guys.
I think you guys must be waiting for Dylan to come back, because he sure does a better job than I do. But thank you everybody who helped out tonight and assisted with us while Dylan's off sick at the moment, and we do wish him a speedy recovery. So from the family at SARCO, we thank you for joining us, and a very good evening to you all. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, man.
Thank you, everyone. Well
Congrats
done.
to all the winners. Well done there.
Cheers, Gavin.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.